always felt as though I live in two worlds, two lives. One life is here in London, where I grew up, where I studied, where I built a future. Where I walk the quiet hospital halls as a nurse, saving lives. But my other world is a past that never leaves me, a world that lingers somewhere far away, in Kabul, Afghanistan. In Afshar, war doesn't just destroy homes, it erases memories. But why Afshar? Why does its tragedy still weigh on me, pressing against my throat even here, thousands of miles away? Let me tell the story of my wounded, unhealed world. I was only 7 years old. 7 years spent in the warm embrace of my parents, their laughter, their voices, their love. These memories remain vivid in my mind. Then, the war came. Warlords fought for power in Kabul, and our neighborhood, Afshar, became a battlefield. I remember the last question I asked my mother. When will this war end so I can go to school? She held me close and said, "My daughter, it doesn't matter when the war ends. Wars always come and go. What matters is that you become the hero of your own story. Even in darkness, you must search for the light of knowledge. The light of learning and hope will never be extinguished. Your desire to learn is stronger than any bullet." Afshar was no more. On the night of February 1993, bullets, rockets and fire rained down on our homes. The bullets had no names. The rocket that struck our house did not know that I was just a 7-year-old girl who wanted to go to school. I remember my mother gripping my hand tightly until another explosion rocked the street. Suddenly, her fingers went limp. She was lost in the dust of the blast. That was the last image I ever saw of my parents. That was the moment I became no one. I ran through the dust, the flames, the smoke of war. All the children ran. Maybe I was just one of them. I fell, I got up, I ran again, following the wave of displaced souls. I fled to Pakistan, but even there my mother and father were not waiting. I survived, but my life remained behind, buried under the ashes of Afshar. Two years later, I was taken to London. A kind family took me in. They did not change my name, but they changed my fate. I was safe, I was healthy, but I was alone. They did not understand why I screamed at night, why I called out for Afshar, for my mother, for my father. At night, the nightmares returned. I saw my escape. I saw the guns in the hands of the fighters. Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. I studied, I worked. I became a nurse, someone who saves others. But I could never save myself from my past. That lost child within me never left. She followed me in my dreams, in the rain, in the silence of nights when I still cannot sleep. In 2005, I returned to Afghanistan, to Kabul, to Afshar. I searched for my mother and father. A sign, a name, a whisper on someone's lips. I searched everywhere, through old photographs and fading records. But I found nothing. No one remembered them. No one could tell me what happened.
I witnessed one Afshar was looted and plundered during the war that we had to flee Afshar, but the fighters came and took everything. From personal belongings to the roof timbers of our homes. Families were struck by rockets while they were eating, right inside their homes.
I witnessed 2-3 of my family members were killed. Then my wife and mother were hit by shrapnel from an explosion. Rockets rained down day and night. We have terrible memories of the war in 1992.
Every time I return to Kabul, the air still carries the scent of smoke, blood and dust. I have listened to the memories of others on the streets. I have heard their stories of loss.
I remember that more than 45 bodies were hidden in a stream just above Afshar. When peace was established and the peace delegations arrived, we retrieved 43 bodies from the stream.
No one has told me where my parents are. Are they dead? Are they still alive searching for me? Where are my parents? Will I ever find them? In the Afghan war, there were no winners. Only those who lost their homes, children who became orphans, and a land that bled more with each passing day. Years passed, governments changed, from democracy to religious emirates. But one thing never changed, an orphaned child like me, still longing for the return of her parents. They said the war was for freedom. But when I look at Afghan women today, standing in the shadow of so-called freedom fighters, I see freedom only in the eyes of those who are now buried beneath the earth. Afshar is my unfinished story. Afshar is the incurable wound of an entire generation. When will the parents of Gul Bigum, a 7-year-old Hazara girl who disappeared in the Afshar massacre, or is this the kind of war where no one ever comes back? Who will answer?